Good morning, everybody. So I guess the inflation fears are over. Markets are going up, or I think it's more of just a technical reaction. We looked yesterday, bonds are at support. We'll take a look at that. And TBT ran up to its 200 there, and it's backing off. So, there are, let's just say, real moves that begin, and then there's technical moves. Whether the market has put in its correction process and it's over, that's yet to be seen. We'll see where this day ends. But with TBT coming down, interest rates coming down, we've got bonds here. We've reviewed the fact that these were coming down to support, and buyers showed up there. So bond prices going up, interest rates come down. Connection to tech, interest rates and all of that. There are reactions that happen intraday from one day to the next. And, whether it's meaningful for more than a day or two, we need to see how this unfolds. So as we look at the broader markets, one of the themes, well, we've gone through this period of uncertainty or correction is this setting up to come down here, which it still might, or whether this is forming a head and shoulders bottom that can push the markets back up to the highs. Well, we'll see where today ends. You can see this is coming up into an area of resistance. So it's already reached its destination. It's got a little bit more room there. So what does it do when it gets there? Does it collapse and go right back down to the lows, which is what was going on over here with this back and forth movement where there was strong moves and it went all the way back down again? Or does it change and display to us a change from uncertainty to confidence? And rather than just technical whips up and down, does demand stay constant at this area of resistance, which would result in probably things maybe getting up a little further, and then tomorrow maybe being a consolidation day where we would see that sideways price movement and buyers, demand staying constant even after a run up that created a void below. Buyers' willingness to continue to buy at an area of resistance after a short-term extended move. 44.30 for SPX for tomorrow. McGraw. Take a look. Well, kind of 44.30. Okay, so that assumes it holds on to the gains here today, that it would go up to potential 44.30. So let me just look at spiders. So 439, 439, right up near the topping tail bar. 439. Yeah, okay. I'm going to put it around 44.10-ish, give or take. So it's going to gap up there. So we've got this void below and a gap right into resistance. Is it a significant resistance area? I mean, just looking at the hourly chart, I would say no. But the fact that it's going to gap to there should be a hesitation to not to sell. All right, so I don't know what you want to do. You're not doing a credit spread. You want looking for a directional. Oh, as a whole number, I don't think that plays into much effect. as a whole number. It's at the high of that pivot high there. It's more about the fact that we're gapping up into that area and what the reaction is to that area. So to think that it can go to 44.30 today, I think that's a reasonable assumption as a possibility. So if we by Friday, it could do it today. Why couldn't it do it today? If it hangs up here for 20, 30 minutes and we see a dip to the downside that recovers right back up again, it might go there today. Well, I mean, if it goes sideways up here and it doesn't go down and attempts to go down and it comes back up, bullish price action, black and white, absorbing supply right here, it's possible it could go to 44.50 tomorrow. It's really about the reaction. Hold on. It's Progressive if you want to talk to them over there. So it depends on what they do here. We got Q's up into resistance here. I mean, I don't want to be a buyer up here, not unless I was going to try and do off of a 1 or a 2 minute chart where I saw some type of correction bar and went for a scalp, assuming 15,000 gets hit, being a nimble, quick trader on the gap up that it continues and then looking for it to roll back over again. I mean, this type of a pattern typically takes out the high. I mean, again, it would be as if I'm looking this at the end of the day, right? Which why wouldn't I think it would take out the high if it could close up here? And then, getting up into this area is where you'd have a higher low, higher high, still well below major resistance and the 50 MA. And then it rolls back over again, because that would be the historical pattern that would play out with this particular pattern that has made a top, has broken down. It makes a higher low, higher high into that area, and it rolls back over and down the toboggan slide it goes. Now, that's tech. So does interest rates start moving back up again? The things that this market has been concerned with, they're not going away. They're not going away. So right now we've got a technical reaction to levels that are paid attention to. So interest rates come down. Maybe there really isn't any inflation concerns. Maybe there aren't any supply chain concerns. Maybe there really aren't all those boats hanging out there full of stuff that people want but can't get. Maybe there really isn't a Sleepy Joe, at the controls. I mean, all those things are still real. So we've got a technical bounce here. I don't know whether this is whether it sets up for the rollover, whether this is, the head and shoulders bottom where, this pushes up and tech plays some catch up. We talked during the week about the transports, the fact that they've made this breakdown failure. They're into resistance, and do they get some bullish price action here? So we've got a bullish start of a day where prices have moved up. They're into a resistance area, which should put some type of a upside limit to what's going on here. And then we start looking at individual stocks as to market at weekly support. Well, we got this mess still going on here. We're talking S&P 500, is it at weekly support? No. It's not down at major support. So we come back to the idea, Tony, whether we look at weekly charts or daily charts, is this is pulling back. Is it creating support? The support that is over here right, is down here at this pivot low. This is in the middle of no man's land, so to speak, but it's been holding this 4,300 level, right? It held at 4,350. Price has been bouncing back and forth around it for a couple of days. We talked about the relatively large open interest that has been shrinking. That's going to, stops trading at the end of the day or close on the close tomorrow. So, we've got all these other factors. 20 MA doesn't mean anything, right? It's the same as the 100 MA on the daily. It's not any kind of magic line. So it's not real support. So this little overlapping congestion area right there is there are holes in it, so to speak. And I talked about looking at this intraday during the week, how this whip up and down has got all these holes in it. And now we've got this move that occurred and it popped back up, right? Which created this bottoming tail bar, downside shakeout. And now it's gapping up into here. So now we got another hole below. So we got bullish price action today, but overall, we've just got a giant mess on our hands until things, calm down a bit, gap up, back down again, holding here, gapping up into resistance. These aren't the kind of patterns that we want to say, hey, this is done. The dip has been finished. We need a little bit more information here as to what's going on. And so our internals have, buyers they're buying a little more calls here. This is coming up into mildly extreme, only 100. It's not quite there yet. So our internals aren't telling us much of anything. The markets, intermediate term aren't telling us much of anything. We've got this day-to-day price action where, again, head and shoulders bottom, maybe a little upside movement. We got Qs underperforming. They're going to gap up here. Can they hold on? When they do that, we've got the Russell, which is just another disaster of a chart whipping back and forth. AMD on the list of non-Apple dependent semis. And with all of that said, right, whether it's AMD or D-Dog or, other things that are bringing up the rear. We talked about Zoom yesterday, bottoming stocks. So we got the market to think about. And then we got, hey, there's still these stocks out there or sectors that money is rotating into and out of. So we're looking at what we call a top-down approach as to what's happening in the broader markets. Hey, what sectors are performing or underperforming? And then here's these stocks that wherever they're doing, whether they're Zoom or whether it's airlines or this and that, we look at all of that throughout the trading day and the week. So giving you an overview of where the markets are at and a bias and expectations for what's possible or what is, and then looking at, hey, what, this sector looks great, or these stocks, and we move it down. And right now, when I'm explaining, the short answer is that we've got a bullish turnaround day yesterday. It's following through today with a gap into an area of resistance. Overall, the markets are in a corrective mode, and whether that's over or not yet, I'm uncertain of that. We've gone through now a few weeks of slop back and forth. Look at the Dow futures. I mean, what is that? That's like such a mess. So, I mean, you look at this and say, hey, is that a pattern that I recognize from the past? That's a high probability setup? Hell no. The weekly is rolled over. We've got these tails here. Maybe it's going to go back up. But what it needs to do, historically, we know, is for these ranges to begin to contract bullish price action at resistance. This could be a topping tail at the end of the day. Oh, we're not out of the woods yet. Bitcoin still acting well. Looks like it's got a tag 60,000, but plenty of supply there to the left. Oil still bullish, consolidating for a few days. Now, this looks like it's got itself turned around. Wow, it's still a big mess there. I'm impressed. And this is, the inflation trade, it's not going away. That topping tail did not follow through. And so now it's up into these pivot highs here. And this also needs to digest what's to the left there. Silver, the underperformer, coming down pretty hard here at the moment on the 5-minute. But I like the downside shakeout. It's still in a downtrend. I don't see any reason to be rushing into this, but certainly maybe putting a toe in the water. And we already looked at bonds. Down there at the low, that is the 30-year. That's the 10-year. So technical bounces here, which are supporting other markets to react as they do. I think that's about it. Covered a lot of stuff there. So over to you, Dan.
Good morning. Yeah, we're just going through a couple opens here. All our opens are great today. When I was doing the nightly video last night, I was thinking, I said it was a bullish close. And regretfully, I wish I had done a put spread on the spiders here for Friday. AMD, we were waiting for today to buy over yesterday's high. It's gapping up, so we'll have to watch a little pullback there. We gave CNI over the high. That looks great. And look at the semis here, gapping up here to 258 from a to resistance, but that's a W bottom. Look, momentum moved down, up, retest at the 200 to boot. And now it's gapping over these 2 bars highs. That's bullish on a pullback. So look at TSM, it's a ADR, but look at all the support here. And now it's gapping up big. So on a pullback, I posted this already to Telegram. Well, that's what I'll be looking to do. Put spread there. I'm a tool on team. I can't tell on the volume, but it's made the turn. It's in an uptrend, so sure, we're working intraday entry. Thomas, Snow, and AG. Snow, we did a put spread yesterday on this. Just bullish wide range bar, bullish uptrend. We gave 5 or 6 put spreads yesterday. It turned out to be a very nice day for that. I don't know. It's not a compelling enough pattern for me for a long, unless you're just day trading, and then it looks fine. And then Alpha Golf. It's a bullish 15-minute chart. I'm not crazy about the daily myself, but I like the gap up pre-market and going sideways. Not sure about the target though. You got a lot of resistance. I just think I can find so many better patterns than this one. Let's see what I got here in the gappers and earnings. GRVI gapping. That's a big gap up. Gap's too big for me. BT. There's no pattern. It's bullish price action on top of this bar, but there's no pattern. Look at Mara. Bullish. This is a bear sandwich at resistance. It's a Bitcoin stock. We entered any ANY into the close yesterday. Up a few pennies at us all. Bitcoin down a little bit. HUT is another. Wow, HUT looks great. It's at the prior high. You can see daily, weekly, but this is bullish price action at resistance. And now it's gapping up. I'm putting that on the window. That looks fantastic. We actually were in that the other day. We had a beautiful entry right over this bar. And we had a beautiful little 3-day swing. Sophie, 820. Nah, we can find better. Semis mentioned, TSM mentioned, XLF, we're earnings season here with banks. So this is a bullish gap at resistance. 30-minute high, maybe we'll keep an eye on that. ETWO, why am I looking at this? Must have had earnings. We'll come back to you. AT&T got an upgrade. That ain't bad for a day trade. Climactic buy setup. Something's been going on in these mobile phones. Verizon got whacked. AT&T got whacked. But look, now it's a bullish gap. And it's a little bull flag here. Kind of a inverse head and shoulders on the 15. That's worth watching. That ain't bad. I'll put that in a window. My other computer, 30-minute high maybe. All right, TSM we talked about. Pergo, I think had earnings. 30-minute high, put spread maybe. UPS got an upgrade. We were talking about UPS and FedEx yesterday. FedEx could be a short-term bottom. It's climactic on the weekly also. GTIM, I don't like the way it trades and no volume, you're gone. Gamble, gapping up, 738, bottoming pattern. A couple banks here, USB gapping down, no pattern. Citigroup gapping up, no pattern for me, unless it's just a put spread under yesterday's low. CMC, no pattern. WBA gapped up, came in, no pattern. UNH, up 19. Wow, that's a big gap. Look at that. You see, I don't even care about the amount that it's up. I just immediately plot it. That is a very, very big bullish gap. But what, how do you trade it? It's a big gap. It's extended here pre-market. So I got nothing. I got nothing. PGR gapping down. So this could be a 30-minute low trade. If it can't bounce, we'll come back to you. 5G auction will cause their leverage to go up. All right, Futu, it's been in a downtrend, bearish gap, breakdown. Look at the weekly, looks like it can go to $65. Let's keep an eye on Futu for short. Bain VST. It's a big gap on volume and it held the gap yesterday. So that's encouraging, and it's a bullish 15-minute chart. So as long as the market's holding thing, we got to be careful here with the big gap. To go with the gap, I kind of like 30-minute high. I don't like, particularly when you're gapping the resistance as opposed to an igniting gap from a base. So, you know, you just got to time it with the broader markets, but day trade, it looks hard. Deer, the news said they're going on strike. They did not work a deal out with the union didn't make a deal. Let's always look at the cousin. Cat's gapping up. And I say, I have no idea if Cat's just gapping up with the market or there's some fundamental news there too, saying, oh, good, my number one competitor is having problems. So I'm gonna get more business. Bank of America, bullish gap at the resistance, no interest. Wells Fargo is always just the dog of the big. Okay, thanks, Britt. Just the dog of the banks. I mean, we'll still trade them, but I don't see anything there. Morgan 101. It's a bullish gap. Hey, McGraw. Let's keep an eye on Morgan for a put spread. Maybe 15-minute high. If we can get any of the 97s for next week, I would like. CNI, this is the one I said you can buy the high. These are all leftovers now. Coup over the high looks fine. Fiber we were watching. It's a little bottoming pattern. Yeah, the fangs, all the fangs are gapping up here. I mean, everyone's partying today. We got two put spreads in Roku. I love that setup right there. As a bottoming pattern, downside shakeout, got 4 or 5 consolidation bars, price void. So I'll be tightening our stop on that. We liked it so much, we did 2 of them. So these are leftover from yesterday. Boyd, I'm sorry, that's Beaky. Big old bottoming pattern. Boyd, you know, I like. Um, 30-minute high on Boyd. We're in MGM already. So 1, 2, 3. It's holding very strong. I'm having a lot of alarms go off here. Facebook, yeah, I don't see anything to do with it now though. Zoom was showing nice strength yesterday. That's a put spread watch. AMD, let's watch a pullback here. That looks great. TSM, that's a big gap. I doubt we're gonna get any juice now. Wow, oh man, the TSM puts that I posted, the 108 100s that they closed at $1.30 or whatever, they're now 9 cents.